All right, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and as you can see, the 10-year anniversary for Marvel Future Fight is finally here. And with that, as you can see for yourself, a free tier 4 selector has been presented to me, and the same will be the case for you if you log in within, I believe, the next 60 days. I think this is here until like June something. I gotta double check. However, when you log in, you cannot actually click away from this screen, which is actually really cool. So you cannot miss this as long as you log into the game. When you click on it, it will be presented with this screen right here, giving you 10 million gold, a uniform ticket, which you cannot use, by the way, on native tier 2 or tier 3 character uniforms, or the newest uniforms. Keep that in mind, you can only use uniforms that have been released in the previous updates, but you can hold on to them and then use it later on. Keep that in mind. However, this is actually really good. One of the things, however, I was really excited to see was who all they would be including in this, the first free tier 4 selector. So we're gonna take a look at that. I'm gonna give you guys my top picks, let y'all know who I'm gonna pick, because I do already have some of them tier 4. Let's get into it. Let's get active. By the way, in addition to that, the following screen is this one right here. You can't really see. Let me go ahead and you know what? It is what it is. The first one, first day, is actually 500 crystals, and then as you can see, sequentially gonna get 500 crystals, leading all the way up to 1,000 and then 3,000 at the 10-day mark, for a grand total of 10,000 crystals. So you want to make sure you log in for the next 10 days for that free 10,000, because the bingo is going on right now. So if you want to get I don't know, something from the secret shop, because that's like one of the most hype like events in this entire game, you know what I'm saying, maybe get yourself a brilliant CTP, a fully colored crafted sword or whatever, you know, up to you. But let's dive right into it. All right, so the selector, as you can see right here, is in my inventory, and when you click acquire, you're gonna see that unfortunately we only have 14 options. Some good options in here, some mediocre to bad options in here. I would have liked if they added a bit more in here, but they could have actually added less, because since it's the 10-year anniversary, they could have legitimately justified it by saying, hey, pick one of 10 tier 4s to celebrate the 10-year anniversary. So the fact that they put 14 in here is pretty cool, right, to start, because this means every sequential anniversary, at the very least, they're gonna drop a tier 4 selector. Maybe for Black Friday coming this year, they could also do the same thing, but don't get your hopes up, okay? Still, some good options in here. I want to basically give you a little tier list, if you will. Now, without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. As you can see, I have a tier list system set up right here. Everything ranging from best value to straight up trash. Now, don't be offended if your favorite character ends up in this tier right here. It's just that in the overall grand scheme of things, they're just not that good currently. Now, you could still use your tier 4 selector on them and wait for them to get a uniform in the future, but depending on who it is, might be waiting for a very, very, very long time. But that's up to you. At least you didn't have to use your own materials to tier 4 them, and you could still technically have a little bit of fun with them. All right, so let's jump right into it. The first character I'm gonna put on here is Ant-Man, okay? If they would give me back half of my materials to un-tier 4 Ant-Man, I would do it. Like, I'd never use it for anything. He's so bad. Trash survivability, DPS is mediocre. Honestly, one of the worst tier 4s in the game, one of the worst tier 4s I've ever made. Barely any fun to be had with him, unfortunately. Another one that I'm gonna put in the trash tier, and some people might give me flack for this, because once upon a time he was one of the best, but it's just the nature of the things that happen in mobile games. He's fallen off severely. Moon Knight, okay, went from ABX meta to just straight up trash. He can still do some stuff in World Boss, but I have my tier 4. I barely ever use him. I went from having 20 Odins on him to just him being naked and just not getting any play. He has no PvP value, so it's just kind of like just no. Okay, but if he's your favorite character, you can go ahead and build him up and tier 4 him if you want. We're gonna put seasonal uniform required for him, just because that's the straight up truth. All of his other uniforms are inferior, so paying $17.50 or buying the new premium seasonal ticket to then buy this uniform for him, because if you're tier 4ing him now and you didn't already have the uniform, then that's what you're gonna have to do to make him playable, or you have to wait until Halloween. And the longer it goes on, the less useful, the less powerful he becomes, because more and more stronger tier 4s get released. I don't think he's worth it, truthfully speaking. I would say at this point in time, Black Bolt is a skip. And I kind of wish that they had included somebody like Ghost Rider in here, but that would have made him even more of a skip. But it is what it is, okay? Seasonal uniform for Sharon Rogers, not required, but it is her strongest form. However, I'm going to put her in War Boss / GBR. She melts in these game modes, and she does not need the seasonal uniform. However, I'm putting her in her seasonal uniform because that is her newest, most powerful uniform. So if you were going to tier 4 her and you're free to play, you still can have fun with her in her previous uniform, but this would be the most powerful one. I personally think out of all the seasonals that I've bought for cash, this is one of the ones that I can live without. I barely ever use, you know what I'm saying? Next up, we got Storm. Seasonal uniform is kind of required, but she's just a support at this point for World Boss Legend Plus specifically. Okay, so I wouldn't personally buy this uniform for Storm. You could tier 4 her and get one of her older uniforms to get yourself elemental support, but nah, I personally wouldn't buy Storm at this point. Okay, next up we have Shadow Shell. Shadow Shell only useful for Otherworld battle on certain weeks in Alliance Conquest. Now she might be useful for the new team battle arena with Blue Dragon and Syrian Sunbird, since that game mode allows you to use 3 characters in that setup. She's okay, but outside of that, no. Okay, I'm gonna say Black Widow definitely above her. Another character that is primarily good for Otherworld battle and Alliance Conquest. However, she's actually, I would say, better than Shadow Shell for World Boss Legend Plus. So that's pretty good if you want to actually tier 4 Black Widow. That's not a bad idea, especially since she has the symbiote tag. Now you can combine her with like Agent Venom, Spider-Man, you know, all those big dogs that's running things right now. Next up, we got Dr. Octopus. I kind of want to say Dr. Octopus goes in best value, maybe at the end of best value, because true best value has to go to Hulk, because of the fact that he can be built however you want. Give him a rage, he's great for World Boss, not necessarily the best, but great for World Boss, amazing for ABX ABL. And then you swap him over to like a Conquest and he is absolutely fantastic for Otherworld battle, Alliance Conquest, AT, and more. I'm pretty sure, I'm willing to bet you're going to see a couple Hulks depending on the weeks for this new team battle thing, especially since you won't be able to use a full team of tier 2 natives and stuff. Another one that's really good, I got to put second place here for best value, is definitely Zombie Cap on his own with a CTP. He's kind of like, I want to say, a weaker version of Hulk for PvE and PvP. I'm definitely gonna have to test that a little bit, because I do think that with Weapon Hex, because she gives him the immortality, so if you have that paywall uniform, he might rival Hulk for PvP, if not eclipse him, you know. Next up, we got Iron Man. Iron Man is going right here behind Sharon Rogers for World Boss and Giant Boss Rate. He is an absolute menace on them higher levels as kind of like a finisher. When the boss gets down to like 10 bars of HP, then Iron Man comes in and that proc from his uniform giving him 200% extra damage to them bosses. he puts in work. Okay, another one that is absolutely fantastic for World Boss / Giant Boss Raid, I gotta say, is Thor, and then he's also a really good tier 4 striker. Okay, absolutely amazing. Next up, we got Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man PvP dog. I gotta say, you could technically put him in best value. To be honest with you, it's justifiable since you got Doc Ock up there, and he's only PvE. Spider-Man is only PvP, but he's definitely really, really good. I think we're gonna see a couple Spider-Mans running around in what you call it, in that team battle mode, depending on the weeks. Next up, we got Venom. Okay, Venom is absolutely amazing for World Boss Legend. Plus, I kind of want to say he can be justified for best value, even though he has no PvP value at all. He's so good, even against people like Call Obsidian, who's a combat type. Venom shreds. Now, it might just be because you have access to Agent Venom along with him, but he does so well. These three, you could move around. I guess technically I could put this down as the PvE category and throw Dr. Octopus down here with Iron Man. Still would be a good choice, and then I could put Spider-Man down here, you know what I'm saying, and then put Venom like right here. And I would say this is probably how it would shake out if I just made this the PvE. Let me just go ahead and make that bigger. Boom, boom, boom. And then we could do something like this, right? So pretty much from this list, the only two I would say like you should straight up stay away from is probably these two. Not going to give you that much value, and then these two you're going to have to spend money, or I don't want to say insane, but it's an above normal amount of crystals for a character that is weaker than these guys. I would say arguably, definitely weaker than these guys. Maybe arguably between these two, just because it takes a little bit to ramp up Iron Man. He really ramps at the end, whereas Black Bolt, he ramps from the very beginning and just kind of slowly evens out, levels out, if you will, with Iron Man at the end of the fight there. But yeah, leave me your thoughts in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. I do think these two are the best picks, and in case you're wondering who I'm gonna pick, is gonna be Captain America in the zombie uniform. So you might see a video or two on zombie Captain America. I'm glad I didn't tier for him, because I had a feeling that they would put all of the Avengers, the old Avengers, the OG Avengers that got their tier 4s first in this tier 4 selector. Anyways, I'll wrap it up here. Leave me your thoughts. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.